Oh. Hey, house guests. Welcome to today's Big Brother 22 updates and spoilers. What's going on? Our house guests of the day are Donnie Greenwell and Shauna Kennedy. Thank you both so much for the support. You guys are amazing, and we could not do this without you. So thank you. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, we're running out of time here. Check out our Patreon link in the info box below. Yeah. And before we get going, I also want to thank yesterday's super chatters because you guys are also incredible, and super chat is a great way to support the channel. Rachel McClung and Sheena123, thank you both so much. You're awesome. All right, so well, we left off yesterday. The house guests were waiting for part 2 of the final HOH competition. Just to remind you, Nicole won part 1, and that means Cody and Enzo were facing off in part 2. They weren't even sure if it was happening yesterday. Big Brother was not telling them what was going on. It did happen yesterday. The feeds went down at like 6:34 p.m. Big Brother time, and they actually came back for like less than a minute at 9:16 p.m. And from what we could see, it seemed like the competition was done already, but for some reason, Big Brother blocked the feeds for another hour and a half after that. It's almost like they didn't want us to like see the aftermath of the competition. But anyway, it took us a while to get confirmation on who won, because when the feeds finally came back, Nicole and Cody are just playing chess. Enzo was like, whatever, off on his own. I don't know. Maybe he was in the DR. I can't remember. But we finally found out Cody won part 2. From what Enzo was saying later, it seems like it wasn't even close. I don't know what the competition was exactly. I'm assuming it was a combination of, you know, the days and something physical, but apparently Cody finished the competition in like 4 minutes and Enzo took like 37. Yeah, so because Cody won part 2, he will face off against Nicole in part 3 on finale night, and Enzo can only get to the final 2 by someone taking him there now. He can't, get there himself. So that kind of sucks for him. Well, I mean, it really sucks for him. But it also sounds like Enzo lost his cool and maybe even blew up after the competition. Yeah. So Enzo was talking to the cameras in the photo bedroom. He says, F. He said the real word. I'm not trying to lose my ads here, but he said F. Day 81, my biggest blow up of the season. What did he say? But he says, I cracked Jackie. I'm pretty sure Jackie, he's talking to his brother, because I think isn't his name Giacomo. But he says, I let everybody down. He says, there's no way that I was going to beat Cody in that competition. I just couldn't figure it out. So then he's trying to figure out what's going to happen moving forward here. He says Nicole would probably take Cody to the final 2 if it's up to her, because in her mind, she thinks that Cody deserves to go to the final 2. I mean, I think it would be way smarter for Nicole to take Enzo, but so yeah. Then Enzo's thinking, crap, if I get evicted, I'm gonna have to like come up with some bullshit question. And he's like, oh, I guess I'd ask Cody, would you really have taken me to the final 2 if you had won HOH? And of course, Cody would say, yeah. And then Enzo would be like, cool, I'm voting for you to win. So then they're talking about, no, I just said that. So then Enzo's like, I had such a good chance to win this whole thing. We almost pulled it off. Now I just got to sit and wait. It's out of his hands at this point. I could still see him definitely getting second place, but I don't think he's got any shot at winning now, because if Cody takes Enzo to the end, I think Cody definitely wins. If Nicole takes Enzo to the end, I think Nicole wins, because she'd be cutting Cody. That's a huge move. So I feel like the best that he could do at this point is second place. I think he's realizing that. But he says, it's my fault. I can't really blame anyone else. So I'm just going to have to let it play out, and then I'll go home and be with my kids. It's a win-win situation. He says, we're going to watch Harry Potter. We're going to watch Goosebumps, like whatever they want. Aw, that's sweet. But he says it's really hard to play an all-star season at 42 years old and keep up with all these young cats. Wow. He admits he did make a lot of mistakes. Yes, he did. but it came down to shitting the bed. That's a phrase that he used a lot last night in this last competition. You know, a lot of those mistakes could have been rectified if he had won the competition. And he says, I know it's not over, but we had a good run. I mean, maybe he's just realizing that he's not going to be able to actually win, just get second place. But yeah, everyone was hanging out for a while together. They were eating some pasta, some late night pasta, talking about the season. Spend a lot of time doing that these days. And then late night, Enzo was talking to the cameras again in the photo bedroom. And a lot of it was kind of like the same stuff. But then he was also saying, he's been saying this for a few days now, how once he gets out of this house, he doesn't want to be doing like anybody's podcasts. He doesn't want to talk about what happened. And he knows people are going to be asking him, why didn't you get rid of Nicole when you had the chance, right? He had that huge opportunity during the triple eviction. He could have just gotten rid of Nicole. Things could have been completely different, but he didn't do it. I think he messed up way before that, but that was a huge turning point that really could have changed things for him. But he says, you know what? It got me to the final three. David, he was not going to get me here. And he says, ideally, his plan was for Christmas to win HOH and take out Nicole. And then Christmas would have wanted to bring Enzo to the end. But Christmas didn't win that HOH competition. It just didn't work out. So then, you know, he's saying this whole thing was not a disaster. He feels like he played awesome pretty much all season, but he messed up at the end. So, back to moving forward here. He doesn't think that Nicole is going to take him to the final two, but he feels like there's still a good chance that Cody would. I don't know. It's tough to say. I'm leaning towards Cody bringing Enzo if it's up to him. But Cody is also still telling Nicole, like, yeah, we're going to the end. So I'm sure he's saying that also because Cody doesn't want to say to Nicole, like, hey, if I win, I'm going to cut you and take Enzo. Because then Nicole would be like, cool, then if I win, then I'm going to cut you, right? So you got to be cool with everybody. But I don't know. I feel like Cody would be nervous to go up against Nicole. And I don't think he would want to lose against her. So I think he has a better chance, obviously, of beating Enzo. But I think also there's this thing of like, I'd rather lose to Enzo than I would to Nicole in Cody's mind. I don't know. That's just the vibe that I'm getting. But Enzo says, I won't be mad either way. You know, if he takes me or not, that's it. He apologizes to his fans for losing the competition. And he's bringing up preseason alliances. He says he's not sure if Cody came in with preseason alliances, but he knows that he did not do that. You know, he didn't know a lot of these people. He came in, he made alliances with everyone. But he suspects Nicole and Cody may have had a preseason alliance. And I think that's definitely a possibility because apparently their moms were talking on the phone this whole time, right? But then Enzo was saying how he had so much fun this season, and he admits it was pretty easy for him to make it to the end again, which I feel like, yeah, Enzo is so good at playing that game that gets you to the end, but he struggles with building the resume and taking out the people that you can't beat. That's where he struggles. So that's why he might find himself finishing third again. But yeah, he says compared to the first time he was on, this was way more fun getting to the end. You know, he had alliances with like everyone, got caught in lies. But at the same time, everything fell into place for him. The right people won at the right time. And he really enjoyed playing it. So that's good. But today, the house guests have been sleeping all day. So, like they're all asleep right now. It's crazy. I don't know if Enzo's going to campaign at all today. I think last night he was saying he's not going to campaign, but I'm sure he will. I think he just needs time to cool off a little bit because he's a little bit bitter about losing that comp. But I think he'll come around. I'm sure he's going to say what he needs to say. But I don't think it'll be today, probably, because I think everybody's down to just like chill and relax today. We'll see what happens. Campaign how? I think just, you know, talking to Cody and saying, do you really want to go to the end with Nicole? Just kind of playing up how many friends she has in the jury, you know, playing up the whole she's a former winner thing. And then he'll probably talk to Nicole a little bit at some point too and be like, do you really want to go up against Cody, who has won so many competitions? He's had good jury management, that kind of thing. So that's what I mean when I say campaigning. But anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. Let's see what's going on in the chat. I want to thank you all so much for being here. Let's see. Jamie says, I think Nicole won't win against either of them. I think Nicole would win against Enzo, but I don't think she would win against Cody. I mean, you never know. You know, crazier things have happened. Let's see. Fonda says that's Enzo's own damn fault, so she has no sympathy for him. He did mess up a bunch, right? He made a lot of mistakes.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
I can't stay. I have something on the stove.
That's okay. Hi, Bowie. Thank you.
Hope your father doesn't come through naked.
Oh my God. Hannah asks, is the puppet theater going to be up today? Yes, it is. And we actually just watched the final cut right before this live stream. And I got to say, it's a lot of fun. I really hope you guys enjoy it. It should be going up probably like within the next hour, I would guess. But I think you'll really like it. It's going to be fun. And that reminds me, I want to thank today's super chatter, Saint Chuck 313. Thank you so much. And they said, thanks for all the updates and puppet shows. Can't wait till next season. Aw. Yeah, I'm looking forward to BB Can because I feel like, hi, BB. BB Can knows how to put on a good show. I'm a little bit worried though after what we saw last season on BB Can. But I think the next season is going to be good because they're, you know, changing up the casting. I think it'll be good. Let's see. Isaac asked, have you guys heard that the jury hates Danny and they'll vote Nicole to piss Danny off? I did see something about that on Twitter. I didn't know like the legitimacy of it. Somebody was saying that their friend was like a producer on the show and that I think it was Davon, Kevin, and David are all very, very anti-Danny, and Danny is so pro-Cody. So that's kind of like turning people off to Cody, but I don't know if that's true or not. So we'll see what happens. I mean, if you think about it from what we've seen in the jury segments, you could kind of see that David was arguing, hey, if Nicole makes it to the end, that's a really big deal. There was definitely tension between Kevin and Danny. So I could totally see that being true. But I don't want to say like it's an absolute because I don't know. I don't know how legit that claim was. But yeah. Benjamin says, wait, so if Cody wins HOH, he's going to take Enzo, and if Nicole wins, it's up in the air. Is there a chance Nicole evicts Cody? Okay. I don't know what any of these people are going to do, but I feel like Cody would feel more confident that he's going to win against Enzo. I'm not really sure what kind of deal he and Nicole had set up before this season, if they set one up at all. And then if Nicole wins, I think she would win the whole thing if she cut Cody, but I'm not getting that vibe from her. I don't know. I feel like she would take Cody to the end, but if she really wants to win, like if she takes Cody, I feel like she's going to lose. But if she takes Enzo, I think that would be a big win for her. And she must know that, right? So it's just coming down to loyalty at that point, I guess. What am I up to next? Oh, you're going to miss me. I'm still going to be here, guys. We are going to be working on our cookbook. That's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be focusing hardcore on our vegan channel, which is fun. It's called Vegan as Fork if you guys are not already watching that. So we'll be doing that. We'll be bringing back our live streams on the Madrosed channel. So that'll be fun too. Don't worry, guys. We're going to be around. We also have a daily vlog channel if you guys are into that kind of thing. It's called Madrosed Vlogs. So I know I'm kind of boring when I'm not talking about Big Brother, but yeah, we'll see. Shane Shaji, thanks so much for the super chat. He said, thank you so much for your hard work. You were seriously the best. No, you are the best. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, you guys. I know this season has been really predictable and trying at times, but I really do appreciate you all sticking around and watching with us because it makes a huge difference. Yeah, I know. Danny had the nerve to call Kevin a bitter juror, but look at her. It's weird because she's not bitter towards Cody at all, but she's like super anti-Nicole, who's supposed to be like a really close friend of hers. It's wild. But anyway. Oh, Romero said I'm not boring. I'm a character. Thank you. But anyway, I got to get going because we are going to Granny's house today. Got to get everything ready for that. But thank you all so much for being here. And make sure you check out the Puppet Theater, which should be up, I'm thinking, within the next hour. So I can't wait to hear what you guys think about it. So thank you again for watching. And until next time, much love.